This is the place where sports opinions collide. Dead in sports. I'm your host, Kenneth B. Inch. Joining me on the show, it's a smaller team, but we're here for breaking news. It's just me and Nick and I right now. Shelton is on the way. Q may pop up, but he definitely will be on Tuesday, and so will FIFO. So we'll be able to get their thoughts on the trade that just happened. You see the title. LeBron James is on what number decisions is this, Nick? 5, 6, 7?
This feels like at least four.
Jeez.
It's definitely four.
Yeah. So it's been a lot. This is part of his thing. But yeah, it's finally done. LeBron has picked Philly. It's we thought it was going to be Miami based on the leaked news. I don't know if they were trying to throw a grenade in the plans or whatnot. Adam Silver was pissed at him because I don't think he used to waiting on a black man like this.
Now that's the thing. That he tired of this shit. He can't wait for this nigga to go. He like Manny.
Well, Manny need to pick whichever one he wants. Do you want him to go? Do you want him to stay? Like, what is it? But Doc was funny about that. But yeah, man, LeBron, Philly, they have a pretty robust team now. Embiid, VJ, Edgecombe, Maxey. Who am I missing? Starting five is pretty nice.
Right now, they just got. I forgot. No, they lost Grimes to the Lakers.
Yeah,
but I'm not sure what their full roster is. But I know their starting five is like what you said: Embiid, LeBron.
Oh, here it is. I got it.
Okay.
Man, bro, this is crazy. So, LeBron James signed with Philly for $8 million. First, I was surprised by that price, but right now, which I think is $4 million a year or something like that.
A little under. I think it's a little under $4 million, but it rounds out to $8 million. I'm not sure what is it a 2-year player option or is it just a 2-year like $8 million deal? That's what I was trying to look up, but yeah, I think it was like 30. It's like 3.9 mil a year or something like that.
Yeah, I guess it ain't about the money. So right now, the projected starting lineup with LeBron is Tyrese Maxey at PG, Edgecombe shooting guard, Jaylen Brown small forward, LeBron at the power forward, and Embiid as the center. And then coming off the bench, and this is on fan side, all of this will change, everybody. Anthony Simmons, who can play, Justin Edwards, I don't think I even know who that is. Dean Wade from Cleveland.
He did go to yeah. He was in Cleveland last season.
Yeah, Dominique Barlow and some dude named Adine Bona. So that is the lineup right now. So yeah, man. So what did you think when you saw the news?
I was making my coffee this morning and I seen it. I seen it on First Take and I was like, hold on, is that 76ers? I don't know why I forgot that they were an option. I feel like it was, I guess because of the leak thing from Miami. I thought it was honestly going to be between Miami and Cleveland the whole time. But then obviously I knew Philly was a option, but I was like, they already got Jaylen Brown. I didn't feel like they needed this. But when I saw it this morning, I was kind of like, that's interesting. I didn't really know how. I'm still digesting it because once we started talking about it in the chat, it's like, okay, well, how does this work? We were all honestly just asking, and I know Sheldon got ideas about this, like how many games are actually the starting five going to play? And I think we joked about it earlier before we went on break as far as like the health of some of these players is like they're only more than likely going to play the national games and that's it. But overall, I think this easily, because I saw the betting odds change. I went from like 1,800 to 900 as far as their title chances when you bet on them. So they got twice as better odds. I think Philly should be looked at as a favorite right now over the Knicks. I personally will not pick that, but I can see, again, I'm not going to argue anybody else who says that. But overall, it just feels weird to see LeBron in a Sixers jersey. When they were showing, I know when you saw the AI images and stuff like that, it's just like I don't know. It's becoming weird as far as when we tell the tale of LeBron in 20 years, how we're gonna detail all his stops. He's doing his Odysseus tour, kid. That's what
Yeah.
he's really doing.
Yep.
What did you think, Shelton, when you saw the news?
I knew it. I said it, and I told my brother to bet it, which is crazy because he bets still. I don't bet no more, but I told him, I said, in my honest opinion, for him. Now, let me clarify. For him, Philly was the best choice. And I say that because when you look at the roster makeup, this team was set for him to come in and play right away. The options, let me tell you the options that were on the table. Of course, Cleveland was on the table. You wouldn't want to play with James Harden and D. Mitch. What are you going to do there? Like, what is he going to do with them two? They pound the ball themselves. So you ain't going to get, that won't work for LeBron. You look at Miami, the cupboard is bare in Miami. If he had went to Miami, there's nothing there but Bam and Giannis, and they clogging the lane. So there's nothing for him to do there. With Philly, he can come in and play the point forward role because we know Maxey likes to score. VJ's young, and he's going to be like your slasher defender type. And then you got Jaylen Brown, who has something to prove now. Like, he truly got something to prove. So he's going to be like just a monster out there doing everything because Jaylen Brown is really nicer than people think. I think he's going to prove some people wrong, but you ain't got to worry about him wanting to handle the ball. We know that already. You got Embiid, who you hope can stay healthy. This, as far as roster goes, is the best situation for him. Whether he comes in and messes it up, I don't know. But I think that all along I figured he would make that choice, and this is the right choice because they are closest to dethroning the Knicks, and the East is wide open. So he'd have been a fool to go to Golden State. So he's in the right place, and like I said, I figured all along this is where he would go. But
Yeah,
the biggest question mark though is health. We talked about it. You know how that go. That's the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think when you look at it, we know what LeBron statistically can do and has done, even at his age last year. Leading that team, in a first round win. So you look at it, and we have the concerns of Embiid health wise, which makes sense, but they don't really have to play him all that much because of the other four that's on there. So that gives them some maintenance. It's going to be interesting to see how they all work well together with Jaylen Brown, Maxey. Like, will it be enough scoring to go around? And that's the thing that I want to be interested in seeing, which, is probably why it's going to be a 2-year deal, because it may take a year or so for them to even gel together. So we have to deal with that, which is always a thing. So how is this, from a basketball perspective, going to work, over a course of a season? But it is a good fit as far as the starting five. It's just longevity, getting through a grueling 82 game season is really going to be their test. And then when they get to the playoffs, now you're going to be tested in a way that, and a lot of guys on their team haven't been tested and survived tests like that. We only have two. That's Jaylen Brown and that's LeBron James.
I think I saw some statistic where it was like LeBron in his second year is when he gets a title for the team that he kind of goes in, excluding obviously his first years in Cleveland. But like when he went to Miami, it took a second year for them to win the title. When he went to LA, it took him the second year. When he went back to Cleveland, I believe it was the second year that they had. So I think that's why it's just like a 2-year deal. Again, it's weird to say like, okay, LeBron is going to end his career in Philadelphia. And it will also be weird to say LeBron brought Philadelphia their first championship since, Dr. J and them. So I not to say like that's what I'm predicting, but I'm just saying like that's, if we're going by history, that's what it's supposed to be. And we're also living in the parity. We're basically living in the NBA's version of the NFL where anybody can win. So Philly essentially could be the next one up in this upcoming season. But again, there's a lot of ifs with that with health, because their best players are the ones that you have to worry about outside. Because what Jaylen Brown technically is like, if everyone's healthy, he's technically the second best player on the team. but value-wise, he's probably third because you trust LeBron. Like you said, Ken, his experience, his playoff experience, his championship experience, and his just decision-making as a elite point guard, basically what he does when he's on a championship team. I do think Philly has playoff experience, enough of it to be like, okay, we're not going to be the bright lights won't get to us like how it was for the Spurs this past offseason. But to me, where I feel like LeBron James is why they're bringing him in is like, you're going to get us over the hump. Like, we're not going to lose a game 7 with you. We're not going to feel like we're discombobulated on offense with you. So replacing him with Paul George and then adding Jaylen Brown is crazy. So I think, again, I can see them being the favorites, but a lot of ifs is like, if this team is healthy, they should win a title. That's what everybody's going to say.
Yeah. It's been a hell of an off season for Mike Gansey taking over for Daryl Morey too, because he
came out hot.
He did, boy. You can't do no more than they've already done. I'll give you that much. You've done everything to surround Embiid with the best players available, other than Giannis. That's the only other move you could have made that would have made, been a splash move other than what they've done. And you put yourself in position, like you said, Nick, the league is wide open right now. And it's a chance for everybody to make a move. You just got to depend on health. You're going to have to manage his minutes, manage the load for Embiid, make sure he's how Charlotte did with LaMelo this past year. They kind of gave him certain days off and certain time to where he would play. He didn't play a lot of minutes. And you used him sparingly enough to where he was able to transition and make it through the season and be ready if there was a postseason. Wasn't one for them, but he would have been ready to go if they had one. And that's what you're going to have to do with Embiid.
I feel like, though, all this is based off of not really building around the team around Embiid, but Maxey, if you ask me. I think Philly is, like, once Morey was kicked out, I think Philly as an organization is past that whole process shit. I think if they were to win a title, Shelton, they're not going to say, oh, this is Embiid's title, team, like the one that Embiid brought us. They're going to look at it like the pie it being cut. Depending on, again, of course, this is all depending on how it's played and how it's won. But a majority of this is going to be like 40% at least is LeBron. I'm assuming based off Maxey's play, it'll be 30% him, and then the other 30 maybe Jaylen Brown. Like, I feel like it's like, again, I'm always talking about, like I said this in this last offseason, I think this team is built around Maxey. He's the young, explosive, I can rely on him consistently player of this team. Embiid is just more of like, again, like Kareem was with the Lakers after they drafted Magic, as far as like, yeah, we know you're good and you're probably the quote unquote captain, but more than likely we're looking at building around this young guy. So that's how I look at Philly. And I think as far as the games they play, it's only going to be nationally televised games. Embiid's not playing back to back. And I think this is a very similar LeBron and Embiid like regimen. Like, they play the nationally televised games, they don't play back to back, and we just wait. And like Q said, Q wants to rest Embiid until April. But as far as chemistry wise, I would say their best chance to kind of build that up is during the NBA Cup. Like actually go hard for the NBA Cup to build chemistry. That's the pseudo kind of playoff experience you're gonna get during the season. And then after that, that's when you shut everything down and you rest motherfuckers until you have to play the national games. But I feel like that's their best way to go. And I also am curious to see how they're going to finish out the rest of their roster too. Because they have a great starting five, they're, again, if you're telling them we're going to rest them for most of the season, you're going to rely on that depth.
I don't think that'll be an issue for them. And the reason why I say that is I think a lot of those players that are available are going to want to get there and play. They're going to want to be on this team because you're thinking, once again, the same thing LeBron is thinking. This is my closest chance to getting a chip. So if I can't go to San Antonio or OKC, I need to be here, or New York for that matter. I need to be here. So I think a lot of those people are going to try to run there. I know I saw KCP, a couple other players are looking to go follow him.
I mean, I want to see the. Yeah, that's what I was like. I wouldn't name drop KCP.
No, we talking about role. We talking about role players. He's a defender. If nothing else,
you might as well should have said PCP. All that, like that's more.
I didn't even know he was still in the league. Golly.
I was like, shit, KC and JoJo, but more impactful. But no,
time is on our side.
Hey, some Philly fan was saying all my life. I've been waiting for a championship, but I do think that veterans will come to the team, and again, that's something I'm just curious to see which ones do. But I'm more interested in seeing how the head coach, how the organization handles all of this, because again, this is LeBron's last 2 years. This is what I'm going into the season as, Ken. This is LeBron's last 2 years in the league. He chose Philly for his swan song. Now, again, I don't think he'll even be he picked another city where he's not going to be the biggest star, as far as like legacy wise, because I think even AI is just like, unless you bring a title, you're not going to be bigger than AI in that city. And he even like was influenced by AA growing up. So there's a lot of weird stuff with that. But I feel like ticket sales are gonna be crazy. I'm trying to go to I don't know what about y'all. I'm trying to go to the Philly Knicks game. I was blessed to see LeBron in LA for my birthday, because I was thinking like, okay, this is the last time I'm gonna see him. This is the last team he's gonna be on. At least that's what I was thinking at the time. Now he's in Philly. It's like, okay, I got to go to Philly now, where I can see Brunson, Cat, Jaylen Brown, Embiid, LeBron, all in that same house. That's a ticket. That's a concert ticket. That's like that's like Coachella for NBA fans, where it's like all these people there. So I'm going in Philly though. I ain't going to Madison Square. Them prices is nuts. But I'll go to Philly. Yeah, them prices, bro. Them World Cup prices on a regular day. So
God no.
Yeah. I was telling Mario earlier that I'm definitely got to get some tickets. We all going to the Philly Hawks game.
Yes.
So that should be fun. So once they put the schedule out, I'm sure Adam Silver got that in the works now. But this is going to be interesting. So Nick Nurse has won a title before with Kawhi, so he has experience also. And maybe this is the piece he finally needs to get over the hump, or he's going to end up being the leprechaun champ that along with Kawhi. I think for LeBron, it's interesting that I find the pay cut thing really, really interesting, because of all the assumptions that he just wants to do it for money. He wouldn't take a pay, and he wanted to get paid in LA. So I don't know what message he's sending with that, if any. Maybe that's just me. But I also think that in addition to the pay cut, I'm with you. This is his last 2 years. And I was thinking Akeem, Shaq, Pat in their last couple of years, they couldn't play, but I'm thinking about them being in uniforms that look weird. When you're talking about LeBron and Philly, it's going to look weird. It will remind you of that time, especially if he doesn't win a title, which I also think the last thing I got is that he's basically kind of in a no-lose situation. You go to Philly. If you win, it adds to your legacy. If you lose, you're 41-42, and nobody really expected you to really win at that age. So he can't really lose in this situation.
And it's not like Philly was in the Eastern Conference Finals last year, and if like they don't win a title, then that says like, oh, was he the cancer brought to the team that held us back, or whatever. It's like they have. Again, it's still a shocking stat to me that Philly hasn't been to the third round of the playoffs since 2001, since AI finals run. So if he's even able to do that, remember how I was preaching about Donovan Mitchell getting the Cavs to the Eastern Conference Finals, since that's the first time they went as a team outside of LeBron. If he's able to do that for this franchise, I think they'll give him his flowers just for that. And if he gets them to the finals, and again, when I'm saying he gets them, I'm not saying like the whole team is on his back, but obviously he will be the ingredient that gets him over the hump. That would be crazy on itself. Q's going to every game, every home game. You know what I'm saying? Like we go, Dead End Sports will be tuned in live. But I think I think he, like you mentioned, Ken, it is true. Like you can't yell at him about taking up too much of the salary cap because he's getting paid less than. I think I saw a comparison. He's getting paid less than maybe the seventh or ninth best guy on the team.
Yeah.
You can't say he's really ring chasing because Philly hasn't been competitive. They haven't won a series in the last 3 years. I don't, or not a yeah. I think a playoff series. I don't know when was the last time they won a playoff series, but since this past season before then. So it's just like one out of the last 3 years. So like the expectations is like whatever happens, happens. Like we gravy either way. Like if he does win a title, that's what 5. He ties Kobe.
LeBron
If he wins a title,
nuts.
If he wins a title for Philly, they're going to say he's the
title
GOAT.
Every single team he's been on.
Yeah, they're going to say he's the GOAT. Even though it's still one less than Jordan. I
don't think so.
Because it's going to be impactful because it's going to be a Philly title. Philly hasn't won a title. Again, we're not talking about in general for the city because obviously the Eagles won. But for basketball, like
I still don't think they will though. And the only reason I say that is because he's losing points for moving so much. That's why I was saying it doesn't look weird to me, him in the Philly uniform, because he's won so many at this point in his career. This is the fourth team.
Well, he's all the jerseys he's worn have not been like, why the fuck are you here? It wasn't like why the fuck are you? He's won Cavs twice,
right?
Miami, LA, and now Philly. So he's only won 4 jerseys, and 3 out of the 4 so far guaranteed. We can say that it wasn't goofy for him to be there.
And then too, like I said, if he wins a championship this year, I find it hard to believe it'll be him as the catalyst as far as that goes, like the leading guy on that squad. If they win a championship, in my opinion, which we could talk about it this way, which I don't think they will. But if they win a championship, it's going to be either Jaylen Brown that's leading that team. Like it's going to be Jaylen Brown's championship, or it's going to be Embiid's championship. I don't think they're going to do it.
It would, but LeBron is almost like that final piece of the puzzle.
Yeah,
that would seal the deal, which is why he will still get credit for it. I think it's interesting, Nick. Now that I think about it, another added part to it is that what the fuck does this say about Luka, bro, and the Lakers? Like, because he could have took a pay cut and stayed there. Now we know it's Luka's team, et cetera, but he really looked at that team and was like, nah.
I wonder if it's that was my question for you too on that. You think it was because of the team, or you think he just looked at it like an insult because they wasn't trying to pay him what he was asking?
I think it's really hard to get into the mind of LeBron. It's hard to get into the mind of LeBron and why he makes certain decisions. But honestly, based off I think it was just more about like, what the fuck are y'all doing? Like, you know how you're at a job and if you see management is run really well, you'll kind of like abide by it because they're a great run organization. But when you see management fucked up, he's like, for me to even be here, you at least got to pay me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I look at the Lakers situation like that, where it's like I think he was very vocal, at least Clutch Sports was vocal about sharing this information, like how he was asking questions like, okay, if I do sign for this much, what are y'all doing? What are y'all putting around? What are y'all dealing with? Like, what players are we trying to get? And I think whatever they told him, he's like, and y'all want me to work for peanuts for this plan? Oh, hell no. Nah. Like, I'm up out of here. And I think that's why when he went to Philly, which is why I'm giving credit to Philly's front office, the new one at least, is the fact that like they put together already as best as you can championship team for this new window. Like, I haven't seen a Philly team this good since the Jimmy Butler, Joel, who else do they have? They had like the whole when Ben Simmons and all that, like top to bottom, like this was a really great
Harris.
Yeah, like they had a really great like starting 5. Like you now have that now. So I think this is their 2-year championship window. But I think it was more about the Lakers' incompetence as far as like, I mean, again, look, we see what they did once he left or once he told them that he wasn't returning. Like they call it the snow time Lakers. So I think Ken, to answer your question directly, I think this actually takes pressure off of Luka and puts it elsewhere because we have too many storylines to think about to where we get to the Lakers. But I do think because of San Antonio's dominance or like new dominance, OKC's consistent dominance, that they get to be like the third brother in the West at best. and everybody's focused on the East, and that now is the new juggernaut conference. But I think in year 2, like let's say Philly wins the title this year 1. I think in year 2 of LeBron in Philly, that's when everything shifts back to LA and Luka. Like, all right, what the fuck are y'all doing? Like, we now seen that this guy not only brought a title to your franchise, but the next one, what is the guy that y'all brought in for peanuts doing now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think with the as we get ready to wrap up, because we'll have Q and FIFO's thoughts on Tuesdays, but I think going back to the legacy thing with LeBron, and I've been really thinking about just where we are. I think this is it's a generational discussion. Most people my age and older and a little bit younger, we're gonna hold on to Jordan because that's what we saw. The generation that kind of grew up in that Kobe / LBJ is LBJ for people for different reasons, right? And I think the criteria based on the generation changes. I think we are judging LeBron, and especially the media, because most of them are older than I am, are judging him because of the movement. But I think what LeBron will get credit for down the line, what he kind of gets credit for now, is player movement. We see these guys jumping around all over the place, agency. So I think there will be less criticisms among the generation that's behind me for that sort of thing, because they're going to be expecting the players that they're growing up watching to do the same thing. Like Wemby, hey man, you got to get up out of there, bro. SGA, all of these guys, they're going to be expecting players to move on and find the situation that works best for them. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out 10, 15 years down the line, because every generation makes the rules for themselves.
Well, I feel like, and I'll touch more on this on Tuesday, I feel like with this second apron, Ken, the NBA put itself in a weird situation to where the player movement is not going to be dictated by the players anymore. Like, to me, that was the previous era. That was the LeBron 2010s. We're in the 2020s now, where it's the second apron. And based off what you see with how Boston did with Jaylen Brown, the only excuse I think people are saying with Nico Collins or Nico Harris with Luka is like, we're not trying to pay certain niggas the certain amount of money anymore, and we're gonna move you before we have to pay you. Or even like with the Hornets with LaMelo Ball, it's like they're now the front office is going to be like, if we don't think you're worth this bread, no matter how talented you are, we gonna get your ass up out of here. And it's almost right. Again, that's what I was saying earlier. It's very much like the NFL now, where there's a hard quote unquote salary cap. And it's like, bro, we're willing to let talent go as long as we just roll the draft their replacement, and we'll just make it out in the wash. I don't think that's good for the NBA. I think it's great for the NFL, because obviously it's proven that it can work. In the NBA, again, we're gonna see what Boston looks like. That's why I was saying, like, the headlines for the Lakers is like kind of pushed to the side, because we got so many other things we'd rather talk about for this upcoming season. I don't give a fuck about Luka, but if Luka year 2 past LeBron isn't competing for a Western Conference Finals at least appearance, then we're going to talk about Luka's legacy, because it's going to be like everybody else is winning but you.
Yeah. But my final thoughts, and I pass it over to you guys. I was kind of, when I saw it, I was like, okay, cool, he's going to Philly. And I was sort of indifferent to the news, but the more I thought about it, the more it kind of settled in, is that it might be some exciting times, Maxey or Edgecombe on the break, LeBron trailing. Like, what the fuck you gonna do with that? And B can come out of the paint and be at the 3-point line, open up the lane for LeBron. It could be some Jaylen Brown. Man, it could be some exciting times in Philly, and it could be an exciting year for the NBA just off of this alone. Just the power dynamics of all teams. The Knicks defending their title. Jason Tatum trying to show that he is the guy. Jaylen Brown on a revenge tour, LeBron swan song, his last dance. Then we got Wemby. We got OKC. We got Luka. We got Ant. That's 8 that we got already.
Right.
Man, it's a lot of stories there. So it's going to be interesting. Oh, shit. Detroit.
Yeah, I was about to say Detroit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like this, we got more things to get to, but we gonna get around to the shit. That's the last thing I say. Like I'm
Yeah,
trying to save
Giannis.
a lot of stuff for Tuesday, but yeah, we got a lot to discuss for this upcoming season.
You're right about that too, Chief. Giannis, forgot about Giannis in Miami. So it
We
is a
gonna,
lot. It's a lot.
we gonna forget about Giannis in Miami by the time the season
It's already
starts.
forgotten.
Yeah,
Oh man, I hope not. Yeah,
bruh.
that may be a discussion we don't want to have, but yeah, because talk about falling off. But anyway,
Yep.
but yeah, any final thoughts from you guys before we close out?
Nah, I'm curious. Again, I can't wait for Tuesday to hear Q and FIFO's thoughts and whatever the hell Spike Lee got to offer for the NBA talk. But yeah,
I ain't even hit him up.
I already know. I already know.
He don't even know.
He don't
You
even
think
know.
LeBron's still in Miami? This dude said Jaylen Brown didn't want to be a Robin in Boston. Now he a Alfred in Philly.
Nah. We go again. There's a discussion about the pecking order for sure, but I don't think. I think LeBron is the old Batman from Batman Beyond. Kid, he the man in the chair. He ain't really like, he ain't doing too much.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
All right. Any final thoughts, Shelton?
No, that's all. I'm like you, Ken. I'm just excited to see what's how this gonna play out.
All right. Well, appreciate everybody tuning in. Those are our first reactions to the news. We have a couple of days now to process stuff even more news and information to be coming out. So we may have completely different thoughts and opinions by the time Tuesday arrive. In addition to responding to whatever the hell FIFO and Q will have to say. So make sure you guys come back Tuesday. We are returning. Nick, we're doing positions. Is that Tuesday?
Yeah, NFL. We're starting our NFL talk. Yep. We're doing tight ends and linebackers.
Yep.
Yes,
so we're back. We're back, and we have a lot. The season kicking off hot and heavy. So make sure you guys tune in, and looking forward to getting back to talking sports with everyone. And we'll catch you guys Tuesday. We out. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.